following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. Live video streaming of this event is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln and online at merealty.com.
Good morning, sports fans. Welcome to the Cheap Seats on WLCN 96.3 FM. Watch our live broadcast on YouTube or listen to us on the go on the Mixlr app. We're broadcasting live from Jake's Furnishings today. Jake, looks like you got some new furniture in here. A little different than the last time we were here.
Yeah, that's right, Scotty. Inventory reduction going on now.
And tomorrow and next year.
Whenever we're open, all the time we're open.
Oh, that's what
or
you want.
Or shop us 24/7 at www.jakesfurnishings.com.
All right. Yeah, that's, I mean, you got to be with the times these days, Jake. You got to get online, and now it just sells itself. You don't have to show up. You just come in, see what they ordered online.
I don't know if that's exactly how it works. Oh. Something like that. I know there's other things going on there, treats that keeps me away from it so I don't mess it up. And fortunately, I got good employees to take care of that.
Yeah, and you got all kinds of pillows and
lots of pillows.
Yeah, so
vignettes, whatever you want.
Well, joining us today is the athletic director at Heartland Community College, Ryan Knox. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be here. Thank you.
You got a busy morning today with softball, so thanks for squeezing this into your busy schedule.
Just kind of worked out pretty nicely, actually.
Well, I mean, you got to come through Lincoln to get to Chatham anyway.
Well, I think anybody with parents, you know, especially or anybody with kids, you got a couple kids and they're in so much stuff. You kind of just wake up and say, where the heck am I going today?
Where are we at today?
And I just happen to be going to Chatham. So
it works out.
This was circled on the
little halfway stop here, a little pit stop, and we appreciate your time. Let's dive right into it. Fall sports have already kicked off yesterday. Your cross country, men's and women's cross country started.
It was a good day to be a Hawk yesterday. So cross country teams headed up to Michigan and won they call them relays. So kind of a typical thing to start off. You relay 1 mile, and so I think the women do 3 miles, 3 1-mile lengths, and there's a 6-mile race. Men do 5.
Okay.
So they run a mile, take a break, or hand it off to the next guy. He runs a mile. The next guy runs a mile, and they just do that for 45. It's exhausting. I don't know how they do it. But anyway, they won twice yesterday.
All right.
Men's and women's soccer both won twice yesterday against D1 opponents. And volleyball took down 2 matches yesterday up in Rockford. So it was a good day yesterday. Good
kicking off the season well. So that's exciting.
Yeah, it was easy to wake up today.
Yeah, and being the AD, I mean, your work's never done, so getting all these planned and, you got teams traveling out of state, that's got to be a pretty tough gig right there.
It's, I try to hire well to take the pressure off myself, and I think I've been pretty fortunate of that to really get some competent coaches in there that, and coaches they want to win. They're kind of type A. They're they like to have their hands in the mix, and so a lot of that takes care of itself. When you have some pretty passionate, pretty driven coaches that like to do things right, they're going to make sure it's done right. And so, they keep me checked too.
Well, that's good. They say, hire good guys around you to make your job easier. And, that takes a lot of pressure off of you. And, as long as you get some good coaches in there that are competent and then keeping good talent's very tough these days,
Yeah,
speaking of talent, being in Bloomington, do you guys try to recruit locally, or do you guys kind of span out across the nation?
For most sports, certainly all sports we try. Most sports, I got a dumb analogy. We try to pick our own orchard first, right? And so then we kind of spiral out from there. So starting local, Bloomington, it's Lincoln. I think we got a kid committed baseball out of Lincoln.
Okay.
I shouldn't say his name. I'm not sure if that's signed yet, but and then we had Ava from Lincoln last year on our volleyball team. And so we start kind of locally and then spiral out to Chicago, St. Louis, and then from there. Soccer's a little different. We have to go a little bit more international to be competitive. It's just an international game, and that's just how it is. But we do have a handful local. I think our goalies local and center back, I think, on the women's team. So.
Well, I mean, it's with competing with other colleges, these kids, you've got to expand because, a lot of kids are going out of state from Illinois, and it's hard to recruit those kids, and, you got to extend your area.
Yeah, so it's the strategy that we took on early on, when I think this is my 6th or 7th year doing this, is that you want to be attractive to the best local athletes, and to do that you got to win, right? And so win right away, then you get the attraction of the best local athletes, and then you got to convince the best local athletes to want to stay home or stay in district for their first 2 years of college, which is also a challenge. So usually kind of splitting itself, where you get the attention of the best local athletes and that want to stay, that can compete, at the level we're at, and so it's a constant. Some years we're higher, some years we're lower. But thankfully, Heartland's, they understand the commitment we have to local athletes and understand that can fluctuate sometimes. Just as long as that effort's there, that we're kind of meeting, our community, desire to be involved in the program. So
now, what does how do you sell to you got a kid and a senior in high school? How do you sell Heartland Community College? Because a lot of these kids, obviously, they're wanting pampered, and facilities is a big thing, and just what does Heartland Community College? How do you sell Heartland?
A great question. It starts junior year, actually. So senior year, that our entire, I think our entire baseball, softball, volleyball class for the following reporting year, I believe, is about done. I think baseball is done. What do we sell? We have the Corn Crib as our home field for both soccer teams, softball, baseball. Our volleyball program, we kind of retrofitted our rec center to be a volleyball arena. So it's not a basketball court converted, it's a volleyball arena with Terraflex floor and brand new stands and things like that. So that's very attractive. You guys may know the local high school volleyball in this area, Central Illinois, is pretty stinking good, right?
Absolutely.
And so that was a welcome sport addition. So I think it's kind of changing from year to year of what is attractive. Certainly success is the best attraction that you can offer. And then the athletes that choose Heartland Community College really think of themselves, or really think that they should have better options. So that's what we sell. We sell, hey, come, we'll love you for 2 years, and we're going to get you better options when you head out of high school. Right. That's what we do very well. I should say that's what our coaches do very well, is that you have your 4-year options. Usually we're competing with directional schools and D2s and NIAs and some mid-majors, with a lot of our sports. And, as each year passes, that we can kind of point, hey, this is where this kid was thinking about going. Now look at him. Now he's at Kansas. Now he's at Mizzou. Now he's at Maryland. Or now, she's at whatever. So it's, that's what people want to wear the highest logo on their chest as they can at some point in their lives.
Right. Some kids might look at going into college, well, it's only a 2-year college. I want to go to a 4-year, where I can get settled in. But being a 2-year college, some of these kids, they're not fully developed coming out of high school. And being a 2-year college, it can improve their skills, get them better, and improve their stock moving up to that next level.
I think last time I remember almost asking you to join staff, because you had a pretty good understanding of the 2-year. That you have a good grasp on kind of the selling points of the 2-year. So a lot of those boys or I should say men and women that are kind of on that fringe D1 level, coming out of high school, maybe a kind of a walk-on or a 25%, they're ripe for a quality 2-year program. Come play right away, improve not only your financial options coming out of Heartland Community College, but just your selection on your school, on the options. So, that's nice you point that out, because that is what we sell there.
Well, how many kids their athletic career ruined because no, I'm not going to a 2-year, I want to go to a 4-year. Well, then they're on the bench for 3 years.
What were we talking about?
Playing.
Yeah, before on air, what were we talking about? Portal.
The portal.
So the portal is a great indication of, if you're chasing, it's wearing that senior year in high school, walking down the hallway of saying, this is where I'm going to college. if that's not the right fit, and kind of trying to make sure it's a right fit other than that kind of pride factor in high school is very important to avoid that portal.
Right.
Because it seems to be happening quite a bit in a lot of sports.
Yeah, and if a kid's going to college, just to play sports, you have to have an education too.
Yeah.
And a fraction of kids make it to that level. It's like 0.5% or whatever it is. I don't know the number, but the kids they're just not going to make it. They love playing a sport, and why not go to a mid-major or a 2-year school, and you love playing the sport. Well, you're going to be able to play that sport.
Yeah, and a lot of the kids
be successful.
A lot of the kids don't really know what they want to do outside of the sport. So at least this gets them their feet wet. Being local is pretty big, but the facilities you guys have. I know from the softball side of things, I've got a few friends that their kids are going there to play softball next year, and I think you guys did a great job of getting them in there. And the moment right after they went there, they stopped looking. Really, they knew where they were going.
Yeah.
And now they were starting to make a plan forward. And then once they get there, now they're going to be able to start making plans for life going forward. Not only in sports, which is that's the tough transition there, I think.
And I think it's cliche for to come, brag about your academics, because an athletic director wants that, certainly shown that light. But we excel. Our cumulative department grade point average is 3.2. Cumulative, that's the whole. That's 180 athletes. 3.2 is our average. So the support staff of our advisors and study table, coordinators and things like that. It's just a well-oiled machine that I'm lucky to be part of it. Honestly, it's just a machine that's well supported and going very well right now.
Yeah, my niece took advantage of the academics there. This last year was kind of a gap year for her. She came back from Ole Miss. She wanted to get some time in with a doctor she was working with, and it was a perfect situation going into Heartland. So
even athletics aside, I have my friends have children about going into college and high school age, and they just rave about the dual credit. And so that's one of the best things that I think Heartland does for the community that it serves is that dual credit program.
Yeah, the kids, they get in there, get their feet wet, get your electives out of the way, 2 years, get settled in. Where, you go to Division I, even Division II, it could be overwhelming, because you're going there for sports, and then you got your academics as well.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes it chases them away, and, but this way they can come in, get 2 years under their belt, really decide what they want to do in the future. And you guys, I'm sure, have people on staff that help them throughout their 2 years.
Transfer coordination and the way the ICCB, I should get my acronyms correctly, I believe it's the ICCB, guarantees that you take a class at Heartland Community College or any Illinois Community College, that those classes transfer to any state school.
Right.
And so that old kind of thought that, my classes aren't going to transfer, that's kind of, that's pretty old school. So it's really kind of become a really good option for your traditional student coming out of high school. You're not going to have any trouble transferring to any state school if you take 2 years at Heartland Community College or any community college for that matter. But why would you go to Parkland? I don't understand why you'd go to Parkland or Lincoln Land and you go to Heartland.
Go to Heartland.
Yeah, I just don't understand.
Yeah, and you guys offer not only in Bloomington area, you have satellite areas. We have one here in Lincoln, correct?
Yeah, and Pontiac.
I know Lloyd and his wife are involved over there, and so if not going to Heartland Community College itself, you guys offer satellite portals throughout the state.
Yeah. So Pontiac and Lincoln are our two kind of satellite schools. And it's been, it was kind of trying to get traction early in its, and now it's kind of just taken off and kind of, I would say it's supplanted itself in this community pretty solidly.
I'm sure 2020, probably, we're not going to say the word 2020, probably took a little bit of hit on enrollment and stuff like that. Probably offered some online classes. How, as far as
so
enrollment?
just like everyone else, so enrollment's up. believe it or not. And so we're one of the few community colleges in the state of Illinois that, I shouldn't speak out of my expertise here, but the reports I get, I should say, from my administration is, to even maintain levels of, to be slightly down, 0.5% or maintain, has been a victory with two-year schools, and we're up. We're up this year. We're up this semester, and a lot of demographics, and it's just, I got so much pride. I've been there quite a while, and I'm just very fortunate to be just well supported in the area. And it's the leadership there is just great. And I'm not saying it because they'll probably see it, but they're just,
That's all right.
You get so many options. Now a lot of people have a lot of options, especially in education. And you kind of look around and look at leadership, and you look at the kind of the landscape of where things are going at an institution. And yeah, I'm okay being here.
Yeah, and maintaining a college is tough to do. I mean, we've had 2 colleges here in Lincoln shut down, and because of enrollment and other underlining circumstances, and it's tough to keep what you have, but obviously times change and you have to improve things as far as facilities and whatnot, and it's a tough gig.
Yeah, it's a little bit of balance of spending money to maintain that kind of draw. It's not for profit, so it's not spend money and make money, but you do have to invest in. We're about ready to, I think, open up the ag lab that we're building there. I think that's open and coming online in January. We have advanced manufacturing. My boss is going to be mad if I don't get that correct, but there's an advanced manufacturing a building getting to be opened. We just kind of redid just changed our front door there at Heartland Community. It's moving. It's under construction, but it's moving.
Now, Heartland, back in the day, they only offered a limit of sports. Can you tell us what sports have been added in recent years?
Sure.
And do you have any plans to maybe add on more? We'll put it live right here.
Very common question. So we started, I think, spring of 2008 was the first year for athletics. It was baseball, softball, men's, women's soccer, so just 4 sports. I took over as athletic director about 7 years ago, and 2 years within my tenure, we added volleyball, men's, women's cross country, golf, and esports has kind of come under the athletic department purview as well. So we got 9 sports. The cross-country team also doubles as a track team, indoor and outdoor, so you can kind of count that as 4 more teams that compete. Same roster, but still 4 more teams. So, 13 teams.
Yeah.
In a sense, went from 4 to
4 to 13.
Yeah, that's my hair looks different. My hair looks different.
I don't see a lot of gray there yet.
We have a.
Well, I shaved this morning. I'm sitting there. I normally don't shave on Saturday, and I'm in the shower, and I'm shaving. I'm like, why am I shaving for radio? And then I see the camera here.
Oh yeah, we're broadcasting live.
Yeah,
on YouTube.
geez. And then I saw the camera when I walked in. I said, oh God, could I put on long socks today? Because I normally don't wear short socks.
Well, you see how we dress. It's casual. You make us look like a bunch of slobs. So
I just got to fake it, bud. I just got to fake it as much as I can.
So we got a long-time texter, first-time listener calling in. Wants to know if you take classes at the Pontiac or Lincoln campus, can they participate in athletics, and they'll hang up and listen?
That's a great question. The answer is depends on how many classes you want to take. So we got to take 12 full hours regardless of where we're at, and we have to get above 2.0 which is typically what happens. That recruiting process starts pretty early. So I would say it's rare. It's not impossible for someone to come there after their senior year, enroll in Heartland Community College and participate in a sport. It doesn't happen very often. Just it's so competitive out there. So if you're interested in playing sports at Heartland, my suggestion is get on it even as early as sophomore year. Get some video. There's some recruiting services that are helpful. But coaches recruit in the summer. They're all participating in the fall and the spring, so there's not a lot of high school matches that coaches get to. So your summer team is very, very important. That typically a travel organization, unfortunately, but not all the time. Camps are still valuable ways to recruit yourself, not only at Heartland but other schools.
And that's a question that I get a lot. My son's a coach down at Blackburn College for basketball.
Okay.
And I've got people calling me, what does my kid need to do to be recruited? What should he be doing? Yeah. I'm like, my basic answer is if you're good enough, they'll find you.
It's typically true, yeah.
But is there like an application process where they can get noticed? I know down in Blackburn they have a site where they can go on, fill out an application, just get your name out there.
Yeah, off our website we have a kind of an athlete interested form, that they're able to ping us, and that gets to all the coaches in the sport. Firing off emails isn't a bad idea if you got a video attached. If you send video, I guarantee it'll get watched.
Right.
Some of the sports do get hundreds of solicitations a week. And so it is kind of tough to get a reply back. They try, they really do. In season's very tough to get to reply to all solicitations. But I promise you send video, it's going to get watched. Why wouldn't we? Why wouldn't we?
Yeah, I mean, with like secondary sports, people play travel ball, AAU for basketball. Yeah. These parents think that, well, if I get my kids in these programs, they're going to stick out more. And that could be true, but not necessarily. If you got a kid that just wants to play high school and doesn't do any of those secondary, travel sports, right, that's not necessarily the case. I mean, like we said, if you're good enough and talented enough, you're going to be, you'll be in the spotlight. Doesn't matter what school you go to. Doesn't matter if your basketball team finishes 1-30. If you're good enough, you'll stand out.
I do agree with that. The world's small world, and coaches know each other, and there's
a lot of inner. With coaches, they're competitive. They want to beat each other, but there's a lot of communication between coaches. What do you think about this kid? And so. And
even you'll have a successful high school coach in whatever sport, and their tree goes to all the schools. And especially coaches have been doing this a long time, seeing the talent that goes to what level. There's value in that opinion, to where this coach identifies this person. Well, this is a D1 person flat out, or this might be a good JUCO player. Right. That's value, and that's gonna get around pretty quick.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
Jake, you got anything?
No.
So we talked a lot about spring sports, or fall sports, I'm sorry. Let's transition over to your winter sports.
Sure.
What do you have to offer there?
Well, the most popular question I get is when you start in basketball.
Yeah.
And my answer is always like, well, if you want to build us a new gym, if you got a couple $1 million to build us a new gym, I'll be happy to start basketball. So that one is, people ask that question thinking I have, I can certainly advocate for what sports I would want, but that kind of goes through an approval process through my administration. Of course, the Board of Trustees would have the final say on any kind of sports edition. Things that maybe make sense in the future at Heartland is, women's golf is kind of stares off, or kind of it seems pretty like an easy ad right there. Men's volleyball is kind of getting popular in the 2-year world. I don't think my current female volleyball coach would like to hear that very much. Share the gym, but there is no immediate plans to do expansion. I'm still kind of soaking in and these other expansion sports. They still feel new to me a little bit.
Yeah. So,
but winter sports, we do indoor track. That's about our only winter sport. But it's a short season, and then spring starts in February now. So I guess you can almost call spring sports, depending on how cold we are sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and you're playing at the Corn Crib, which it's turf, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So as far as, your spring sports, you're not going to have a whole lot of games canceled, because, we know how those turf fields act, how they stand up.
It's our biggest advantage. It's got to be the best 2-year facility for softball, baseball in the country.
Yeah.
So that just helps, with the recruiting, and it. I played baseball a long time, and I had a lot of rakes in my hand, and it's nice not having a rake.
Oh, absolutely.
It's really nice.
Yeah, get out there and get the field ready.
The catcher's not tamping behind the plate after every practice and stuff, so it's a good selling point. But and it's helpful on the budget too. Travel's getting pretty crazy these days.
Yeah, and that's something we haven't really discussed. Budget to maintain these sports. Obviously people are wanting to add basketball and other things, but it's an expensive, and just to get it started, it's and being a 2-year college, it's a tough sell, but I mean, there's always opportunity.
Yeah, we say, it's very ingrained in the culture at Heartland of being good stewards of our resources, right? Mm-hmm. And I think athletics does both. It kind of, certainly helps with enrollment, that creates resources, and, we are very well supported. But I think we're very well supported because we're mindful of the resources we have, and we're not flippant about it, and we are efficient with them, and so we're very proud of that. And I just feel like we're in the golden era right now, because everything's kind of rolling.
Right. Well, if you ever decide to get that basketball program, you're Central Illinois, where basketball is, pretty high level.
Especially Lincoln.
You got Normal Community High School, you got Normal West, Bloomington, Lincoln.
Well, Lincoln College used to have some big years with basketball.
Yeah.
So I went to Pure Emmanuel High School.
Okay.
And so a lot of Pure Emmanuel guys would come down to Lincoln and play.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Before they went to Illinois and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a good kind of relationship there. Lincoln basketball's no joke.
Yeah, it's been around for years.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We've been pretty fortunate. So yeah, it's fun, and it's right around the corner again.
So how was your AAU experience? Can I ask you?
My oldest son played it.
Yeah.
My youngest son, not so much. It's an expensive. It's expensive. You're traveling somewhere every weekend: Chicago, St. Louis, Indianapolis. My son didn't benefit in it because AAU is a lot of up and down the court. He went to Lincoln, and he's more of a, run plays and a more strategic and,
It's not a show. AAU's a showcase.
Oh, yeah, it's a showcase.
High school basketball
and if you're not, it helped him out. Yeah. As far as his quickness and stuff like that. But AAU, it's another level. And it's, like I said, it's up and down the court, and it's more for the athletic kids, But
I'm unfamiliar with basketball. That's why I asked.
It was a good experience. I don't believe that it's a necessity, but some parents think that they need to highlight their kids in these, and some do. You get those star athletes that really stand out, and it's going to really benefit them. But the
travel sports just the fear of missing out is a really big motivator for travel sports, just in case,
Now, it's good for them to, keep playing after the season. Obviously, that's going to improve your skills and things like that. But I don't necessarily think it's a necessity to get your name out there to be recruited.
In basketball,
because
especially.
A lot of coaches kind of, I don't want to say gave up on that, going to AAU. It's not as big as it used to be back in the, early, mid 2000s, early, where these coaches were traveling all over the place. Now with social media and video, a lot of these coaches are getting it straight from there. They don't have to be there, or they're looking at your high school. And a big thing that I know about recruiting, because my son does it year round, it's not necessarily how athletic you are, it's how you handle yourself on and off the court. They'll watch a game, and they're not necessarily watching the game, but if this particular kid's on the bench, how's he interacting with the team? How involved is he? Because you want that high IQ, that good personality type of kid on your
emotional intelligence team. It comes through very quickly in social media or correspondence with the coach, and you can tell right away sometimes if it's a good or bad fit. It can be automatic qualifier or automatic, I want this person.
I don't know if Lloyd warned you about the basketball questions coming in, but Scott's kind of a basketball.
How can you not? My whole family's just.
I was going to say his whole family's basketball.
Well, I have friends where their kids play basketball, but they're playing 3 games in a day.
Yeah.
That's just 3 games in a day.
Yeah. Can't even fathom.
Strap it on.
Yeah, and I guess another message I would send out to kids being recruited.
Softball does that too.
Yeah.
Especially travel leagues.
Just stay off social media.
Yeah.
Because coaches do look at it, and I'm sure athletic directors go in and look at their Facebook and see previous posts and this how these kids, communicate, which these days a lot of kids, their social skills are
we definitely
not up to par. So
we definitely audit social media accounts, because they are important. Unfortunately or fortunately, I guess, some are important to be recruited. Twitter is very important in the baseball, softball world, at every level. It's usually the first contact is a follow on Twitter and then a direct message on. And, I'm 46. I'm a little old school, right? And so, I'm not.
Well, we didn't have that back in the day. Back when you were playing, there was no social media.
Where everything was perfect, right?
Yeah, but exactly.
I have some personal ones that I've no longer engaged with. It's just, I just can't.
The funny thing you say that, my daughter chose Nebraska after going with her travel team to Oklahoma to play the World Series there and whatnot, and to watch the College World Series. And while she was out there, she met a couple girls that were going to Nebraska that spring. Well, then she started interacting with the coaches and whatnot, and she decided she didn't want to play softball, but she decided she wanted to go to Nebraska, and that was her choice. But it all came off of social media and started off with Twitter. So.
Yeah. And as a parent, obviously you want your kids to advance their athletic career. I'm sure you wanted Chloe to play softball somewhere.
Yeah,
but sometimes they just kind of, softball's not for me.
Well, I'm very fortunate. My daughter sees a path for herself, and it has nothing to do with what I've said or her mother said. It has all to do with what she has a plan for, and she's working that plan so far. So now, not to say that's not going to change, because we know how college kids are, but she's kind of blazing her own path, and it's kind of fun to see as a parent.
Right.
I named my daughter Chloe as well. So.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But I called myself old, but it's not Twitter anymore. It's X. We got it. It's X.
Yeah, and I woke up one morning, I see this new app on my phone that says X. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, you're right.
And I'm like, I didn't download this. Well, it's the new Twitter. Can we still call it Twitter? Or is it just X?
You can say anything you want on there, I think. I don't think there's any rules anymore.
I'm going to X you.
You're not tweeting anymore, obviously.
Well, I don't really get on social media much anymore.
Nobody wants to hear what I have to say anyway, right?
Yeah,
Nobody cares about my opinion, do they?
No, not unless.
I like to see other people's opinion, though. I still scroll through it.
Real quick before we let you go, Ryan, the financial side of going to Heartland Community College. Obviously, you don't offer scholarships.
We offer tuition waivers.
Okay.
Yeah, your tuition waivers.
How does that work? You got a kid coming to Heartland. Obviously, everybody's looking for a free ride. How do you help those kids out?
So I think there's 3 levels of junior college competition. Division I can pay for housing and tuition. Division II pays for just tuition. Division III can pay for nothing. So we are in Division II. The top of Division I is very, very good. Top of Division II is also very, very good. There are some, lower end of Division II and Division I even, and Division III's, the top's fine, typically, depending on the sport. And so, going to a top D1 or D2 junior college is, can be very comparable, and in some sports is comparable. But to answer your question, certain schools do it differently. We do tuition waivers, and so you take as many classes. If you're on scholarship in certain sports, get a certain amount allotment. Most are fully funded. And so, here's your tuition waiver for the spring and fall. Take as many classes as you feel comfortable, or that's up to your ability, and you find your own apartment, and let's roll.
Yeah, and that's huge, because we all know tuition these days is not cheap.
Right.
And a kid goes to college 4 years, and you don't have any assistance at all. You're talking over $100,000 in debt.
Yeah.
If you don't get any help, and that's big coming out of college, trying to find a job, which I don't want to say is tough these days, because there's jobs out there. But just to have that debt right off the bat. That's big, and if you guys can help out at all, that's a big seller as well.
Yeah. So even Heartland's affordability outside of the the tuition waiver is still quite good. And that's thanks to our community just being supportive of that. You just for our athletes, I would say maybe half, maybe a little more are on tuition, some kind of tuition assistance. But the other half, certainly help support the school and bring resources in. And we have apartment complexes right by campus there that all the athletes occupy. And, it's a good student life experience. It's if you're worried about the student life experience of going to a 2-year school, don't. Right. It's you're not going to have 100,000 people at Ann Arbor, but it's still the engagement if that's what you're looking for in the smaller classroom sizes.
Exactly. That was going to be my next point. Smaller classroom sizes. You're not sitting in a big auditorium with 300-400 other people. It's more hands-on.
Yeah.
If you have issues, you're a little more personable with your professor, and if you need help, there's help there.
We have early alert systems now to where if you don't show to class, the professor's going to figure out why. Just to kind of make sure that outreach and that follow through. Persistence is a large goal for our for the success for the student success, persisting from fall to spring, back to fall to spring. It's a very focused effort at Heartland Community College, and the early alerts and all kinds of things happening with way smarter people than me.
Yeah, and coming out of high school, that's a big step.
Yep.
Living on your own, being away from mom and dad, having to take care of yourself. Time management's got to be huge. So they have resources there to help them.
The new athletes showed up at August 1st, and so this next week you're going to kind of start seeing them going, man, I miss mom right now. I miss mom and dad. But they figured out, and it's so often that when we run into parents in the spring season, after they've come home for Christmas, that's when they're kind of different. That's when they've kind of become a full adult. The parents thank us, at that in the spring, after they've had that whole semester when they're so.
Well, Ryan, I know you have places to be, and it's a new gym for basketball.
2032.
I'll come see the furnishings guy for the funding of it.
Yeah, the name of Jake's Furnishing Stadium.
I was thinking more Country Financial, but whatever.
No, you can have more than one.
I am quite comfy on this, by the way.
Would I get a good parking spot? That's the only question.
We'll name it. We'll name the gym after you.
Yeah. Jake's. Yeah, won't win a game.
Won't win a game. Can't get anybody in here.
Well, Ryan, you guys are doing great things up there, and it's exciting times up at Heartland.
Yeah, very proud.
Yeah,
very proud.
You should be, and hopefully you have a good fall season. You already kicked it off on the right foot, and just keep building on that, and then good luck in the future.
Thank you very much. We'll see you next year, hopefully.
All right, yeah, absolutely. All right, we'll take a commercial break. We'll come back. We'll have more here on the Cheap Seats on WLCN 96.3 FM.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in Illinois. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the IHSA and the Illinois Athletic Directors Association.
Mom was always very self-sufficient, but we started noticing things were off.
Alzheimer's, it was hard to hear that.
Early detection gave us time to seek information and support.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Live video streaming of this event is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com.
Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that. Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone. What? I should take your phone away. No. I'll call for a ride. Wait, why does my face look like that? I'm playing with these new face filters. Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine. Kevin, I need that back. No. Kevin!
This is Mickey Morandini, and you're listening to Cheap Seats with Joe, Jake, and Shabadoo on 96.3 FM WLCN.
106.3 FM. Got to thank Ryan Knox, athletic director from Heartland Community College, for dropping by. Now we have Joe.
Got to have on there.
Yeah, great guy. A lot of good things happening at Heartland.
I tell you what,
a bright future.
Great facility for especially for softball. I know softball a little bit more than the other sports, but great facility for the softball team, and they've got some really good kids. I mean, some kids that I believe will move on to the next level after their 2 years there. So
good deal.
Yeah,
Joe, welcome back.
Welcome. Well, thanks for having me. You know what? You know what's next level? Jake's shirt.
Yeah,
this is next.
Was this
level.
talked about?
You got that in Hawaii?
No,
next level.
This is go big red, my friend.
Are there any palm trees in Nebraska?
Listen, there's no palm trees on this shirt.
Oh, what is that? That's a palm tree.
You don't ask what it is.
I'll tell you what, that's a nice shirt. Next level. And the real Big Red, they were in St. Louis years ago. This is just the second Big Red.
Oh,
just so you know.
Yeah.
Tommy Frazier.
So you think the St. Louis Cardinals football was around before Nebraska football?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Interesting.
Look it up in your little books.
Google it.
Absolutely.
Google that.
They stole the Big Red name from the Big Red. How was your interview? How you guys been doing?
It was great. I mean, it took 35-40 minutes, and I mean, a great interview.
How long did he say he's been there?
He's been there for
45 years.
Six years.
6 years.
6 years he's been there. If I'm correct, I was listening. But yeah, they've got their fall sports kicking off. I think they went undefeated, from my understanding, in cross country, soccer, and golf. So kicking it off right over in Heartland.
Better way to get it going.
You weren't listening?
No, man, I had things going on. I couldn't listen. That's why I was asking.
So busy.
Let's not go back through it. I just want to know how long he'd been there, because I knew he'd been there up for a while.
Yeah. Yep. So,
what are we talking about now? What you guys got on your minds?
How awful the Bears are.
Oh,
they're going to be
Jake
awful.
Don't even know. Jim?
He thinks they're going to win 12 games. Joe Ryan, drop some knowledge here.
Whoa.
I said a great year for the Bears. Give me 7. That's a great year.
No.
Because they were the worst team in football last year. The worst.
Is there any truth they joined the Pac-12 with the Cowboys?
Yeah.
Is there truth in that?
Is there any truth to the
I'm not anti-Bear, but they can't win 12 games. I mean, but I think they can sneak in. I think they can win
10,
8 to 10.
Oh, my goodness.
I'll take 10
what is in those mellow cream donuts? What is? Most people, it's on the sugar.
You gotta have high expectations, Jake. You gotta be, enthusiastic and optimistic about the season.
Why? So
now, after it starts, attitude might change a little bit. But
you know how they start? How their schedules start? Like who they?
Green Bay, week 1. I mean, we can win that.
That's a dub. Unless Aaron Rodgers comes back for one game.
He owns the Bears.
We can win the first 2.
He literally owns them. He has no parking spot.
Yeah. Well, let's just go.
Do they get to play the Jets?
I don't think so.
No. That'd be fun.
No, who wouldn't?
And they're loading up. The Jets are loading up. They're making moves. They want to win right now. They know Favre doesn't. Favre. What do I keep calling him? Favre. They know Rodgers doesn't have long. He's going back to the neighborhood pretty soon. He's going to lay down. With Mr. McFeely.
I could see. I could see.
Give us a call if you remember Mr. McFeely.
What's that number?
What's that number, Joe?
All right, so let's go through the Bears' schedule and see exactly what their record's going to be.
Here we go.
Week 1, Packers. Win. Week 2, Buccaneers. W. Win. Week 3, Chiefs. That's a loss. Then we got the Broncos.
Loss.
Beat the Broncos.
They'll beat the Broncos.
Washington. We beat the Washington.
The Washington?
Yeah.
No.
I don't even know. You just got to say the Washington. Yeah.
Did you see that the Cherokee Nation or whatnot came out and they want it back?
Well, where were they at when all this was
and they have
going
over
down?
90,000 signatures on a petition for it.
Good.
Yeah.
So
then Vikings at Bears. I think we can beat Vikings at home.
Not going to happen.
That's 5. Then
put your hand down unless you want your volunteering.
You're illiterate in the first place, okay?
Then the Raiders. That's another win. That's 6.
Goodness, that's not
Chargers. That's a loss. Saints.
Loss.
Panthers. That's a win.
I don't think so.
Bears at Lions. At Lions, we'll lose. Bears at Vikings, we'll lose. Lions at Bears, win.
Loss.
Bears Browns,
loss.
Win. Now, how about this one? This is a for sure win. The Arizona Cardinals.
Oh my God.
That's a W.
That's 10 right there.
That's like awful versus awful.
Then you got the Falcons. That's 11 wins.
Yeah.
And then Bears at Packers. That makes 12.
They can't sweep the Packers.
Come on. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, I
Jim.
don't know. After you went through it, I'm back down around 6 to 8 wins.
Yeah, you're false. You're also an Arizona Cardinal fan.
Oh, they'll beat the
You are one pathetic loser.
And you know what day that game's on?
No.
Christmas Eve.
Oh my
Christmas
goodness.
Eve? Is that a Sunday? They're certainly not giving. They don't have any. The Cardinals aren't getting any
airtime.
No,
any
that's
national.
No national game. So that's got to be a Sunday.
Yeah, sure.
Where's it at?
We're going.
It's at Chicago. You want to go?
Let's go.
That could be your Christmas present to me
from Jim.
Yeah, you know what? I'll get a hold of the Ticketmaster, and he'll have your tickets waiting for you.
Sure.
We'll all take a bus.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get on that, J-Mac.
J-Mac.
Have his tickets waiting for him at the window.
So anything less than 12 wins for the Bears is disappointing.
Start crying, bud.
Oh boy. Week one they lose to the Packers.
Gosh, I hope they get 12 wins, because
if they lose to the Packers the first game, every Bears fan will be like, I'm done with them.
Yeah, and Love comes out, throws 5 touchdowns, and
it goes
off the field and says, I own the Bears.
Oh yeah.
Then I quit football.
Ownership transfer.
Yeah, I quit football.
I own you. Boy, that was something, wasn't it? Gosh.
Yeah, that was something.
Good stuff.
Good stuff.
You know what's around the corner? High school football.
High school football next Friday night. The Railers kicking it off. They're going to have some TV action.
Yeah.
They're the first week on the Friday Night Lights thing, and at Lanphier, new stadium. I hear that is fantastic over there.
Fantastic. How
nice.
Show.
Have you seen it?
I was over there this week.
Oh, yeah? Did you do the ribbon cutting for them?
No, but I went over and talked to head coach Donnie Goff, and I believe we're going to air that right after show today.
What?
Yeah, okay.
We're going to air that today after
Breaking
show.
news.
Breaking news. Well, we talked about this before.
Okay.
Yeah, but trying to get with all the Central State 8 coaches, and so we're going to start with golf because that's our land fair. So we're going to start this week throwing that up there, and I believe it'll be on also be on our website or
YouTube,
whatever. YouTube. But the facility looks great. Memorial Stadium, it's legendary. Now it's all turf, big old video scoreboard, new lights, bleachers. Looks nice.
Real nice.
Real nice, Clark.
That's real nice, Clark. Yeah. But, I think it's exciting being back in the CS8 for all sports, I feel like.
Now, who all plays at Memorial Stadium? Lanphier, does Springfield High play there?
Lanphier and Springfield High.
Just those two?
Yeah.
Okay.
SHG got their own. Southeast got their own several years ago. Springfield High has a nice turf practice
field, yeah.
But for lower level games, but they play there.
Not much seating over there.
No,
if at all, any.
They do have a little thing of bleachers for the home team.
Yeah, and that's
everybody else stands around.
Yeah.
But. And he never brings anything.
None of it.
We never get any Railer gear, Illinois gear, Beaver gear.
Railer gear on all the time.
We don't get. You don't ever bring any into us and go, hey, we got you guys some stuff.
You wanted it. I mean, Jake's not going to wear it because he wears nothing but Nebraska. I'm sure his thong is Nebraska too. He's got on.
Is it really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, can we show it? Is it okay to show on the air? Show it.
Jim wants to see it.
We just got approval.
Jim wants to see it. Look how excited he is.
He wants to see that Nebraska song.
Swing that camera.
He's getting ready for it.
We're going to need the wide lens.
Lloyd's asleep over there.
Look at him.
The fact that he had this. I don't think anybody wants to see this.
Well, make for good radio.
You're no fun.
Make for great radio.
You're no fun. You should have popped that. You should have popped right up.
You're a fun hater.
Fun sponge.
Fun.
Hey, and you got
hater.
Yeah, you could have crawled all over the furniture and stuff.
Now you're just getting weird, Joe.
You are. You got what was in the donut?
Joe's already got planned out what he wants you to do.
Holy Jim's over here. Yeah, that's.
Hey, I was just answering.
Jim's over here. Yeah, that sounds good.
I was just answering listeners' text messages, and they were telling me what they wanted you to do.
We can make a commercial out of it.
Oh,
Shop at Jake's.
Crickets.
And some of that furniture he's on is marked down.
Well, yeah,
it's priced to move.
After he sets on it with his thong, it's going to be way marked down. Yeah, and then Joe walks in the door and it all goes to crap.
Go ahead, Jim. You missed that one. Crap. This show is crap.
Yeah. He wants to play that other thing again. He's just baiting Jake.
Or selling as one of the top producing offices for decades.
Well, you know, all your sports going high school, you have up and side
all the brokers.
That's another whole story.
Tennis courts are on a roll.
What about car there? Or check out local listings online.
I don't remember how it started.
What's your favorite cross country?
When you fall.
Our back and forth.
You're looking up.
It always came back. You probably don't remember what you told me. But I have everyone.
The last place you want to be.
You want to be on a cross country.
Hell, your knees looking up.
Inner cheese, Mike.
You're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you.
It's 10 o'clock, fellas, and this show went to crap after Ryan Knox left. Heartland Community College. Like, thank him for coming in. Big things happen over there. Having a lot of success, and he's been there 6 years, and he's got that program going in the right way. So, congratulations to him. He's very passionate about it. Likes what he's doing, and that's what it's all about. But winning cures that too.
Yeah. All about winning. If you're losing,
winning cures,
you're not much
liking what you're doing, and
well, I mean, if you're losing, you not necessarily maybe like
you're not winning.
And look what situation I'm in right now. Definitely losing.
Well, look who you're sitting with.
One pathetic loser.
Yes.
Where was Jim on this?
Yeah. Jim can't see straight. He's got tears in his eyes from laughing. All right, well, that's going to do it for us today. Come on out and see Jake at Jake's Furnishings. He's got things on sale.
I got Haley here selling.
Haley's here selling. Doing a great job.
She looks when's that inventory reduction sale start?
It started earlier today.
Oh, it's in force then.
Yeah, big deal today.
Big things happening. All right, thanks for tuning in to the Cheap Seats, WLCN 96.3 FM.
Good day.
Live video streaming of this event is made possible in part by WLCN's live stream technology sponsor, Me Realty, located at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, and online at merealty.com. The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.